begins as a whisper, a promise. That breeze became a wind. A wind, my brothers, of sacrifice.
Hello everybody and welcome back to some Blood of Steel. It's been over 30 days since I first made an introduction video about this game, and I wanted to take this opportunity to talk about how it's doing. Now, only having 200 hours in 1 month for a game is usually pretty low for me. I've had some on and off feelings with this one, mainly because of other stuff that's been going on, but also because it does play a lot like a MOBA, and sometimes you just need a little break from the same type of gameplay over and over. But for this one, I have to admit that over time, it's got to the point where it's grown on me. As I said before, the game has a ton of different characters with various different playstyles, and I've learned to enjoy playing different ones from time to time or even filling completely different roles. But I'll admit that the majority of my time has been spent playing with characters like Alexander, who just so happens to be one of my all-time favorite characters from history, so it kind of fits when you think about it. Content-wise, I have to say they've actually been adding a lot since we last talked about this. I think in the last video I told you guys that campaign mode was upcoming. Well, since then, they've added not only the campaigns, which I definitely need to go over in the future, but also several different modes. Clash of Clones, which is essentially all random all mid from League of Legends, except everybody plays the same character. They got the Creed of Guardians, where you defend Guan Yu against waves of enemies, and even Territory War, which I did not expect for us to get this soon. But that mode specifically has been a blast, by the way. It happens every Wednesday and Saturday, and very similar to Conqueror's Blade, you are able to take over territory for your guild and fight to defend over different points of interest. That's a topic for another time, but I highly recommend checking out the game just for that. Best part is you don't even have to be in a guild to participate. You can join one of the mercenary factions like the Hans or the Crusaders, and then you can fight for or take over territory for those too. Speaking of which, I'm actually a part of the Han faction, and because of that, I'd like to invite any potential new players to our side for fighting against some of the most powerful enemy guilds you'll find in this game. Join us and join us alone. But anyway, on the character side, my god, they've actually put in 5 different new characters to play, all of which have their own playstyles and troops. And apparently, very soon we'll be getting another 2 characters, one with their own chariot who happens to be the first emperor of China, and even Lagatha, the Viking shield maiden, which for some reason I'm actually super excited to play, right after I get real familiar with the chariot, that is. But honestly, I just wanted to talk about how the game's been doing, and just how dedicated these companies are to putting out new content and communicating with the players. Population wise, it hasn't really changed that much, and to be honest with you, when it comes to queuing for rank mode, at least on the NA server, sometimes it can take forever. That being said though, the community itself is very dedicated. The monetization system has remained relatively the exact same, even though they've added quite a bit more in terms of how you can customize your character. Hell, even Joan of Arc has her own custom design menu now, which I'm kinda jealous of, to be honest. Like, where's my Alexander designer? Personally, I'd like to put him in a red and black tuxedo, but a dude can dream. They've also opened up the credit awakening system so people can get these super epic flashy skins now. But you have to get pretty lucky though, is the thing. For the characters and combat, it's remained about the same. The thing with this game is that you would think with like over 40 different characters that there would be a lot of balancing issues and whatnot going on. Now, certain ones definitely have their moments, like when Lu Bu mows down your entire infantry line like you're made of paper, but to be honest, there really is a counter for everything. And if you play these characters right, there's really no situation that you just cannot overcome. Like, don't charge directly into Alexander's pike wall unless you have a Richard or Zhang Fei. Don't turn your back to anyone with the lance or Lu Bu. Try not to chase horse cavalry around as a slow-moving infantry unit, that kind of thing. But this is something you'll just have to try for yourself to see if you like it. It's free to play, and I still stand by it being the closest thing I've ever seen to a proper successor for Tiger Knight Empire War, or like a mix between Dynasty Warriors and Mountain Blade. That's all for now though. In a couple of days, I'm planning to do a deep dive into the campaign mode for this game, but I've been dealing with some medical stuff IRL, so definitely bear with me on that one. Either way, thanks so much for watching, have a wonderful night or day, and farewell.